One of the things that most intrigues fans in Equestria Girls movies is about the other Sunset Shimmer, the one from the human world, because the one we know came from Equestria. We even came to meet the other version of Twilight. Maybe there are two sunsets after all? So let's dive into another Equestria mystery. Hey beautiful people, I'm Julie, and if there's something that My Little Pony knows how to do is leave questions unanswered. And this thing about where the human version of Sunset Shimmer isn't something new. Some time ago, the fandom believed that Sunset from the pony world made her human version unalive, if you know what I mean. And if you notice those photos of Sunset Shimmer being crowded over the years in the first movie, we can see in the first photo that Sunset Shimmer seemed happy and even wore a white dress. In the other photo, Sunset has an evil look, changes the color of the dress from white to purple, and from there, it would be Sunset from the pony world, taking the place of human Sunset. Even with this theory making a little sense, I don't think that Sunset would go for such a low blow like that. In the first movie, we saw that she didn't use physical strength and was just a super aggressive Minnie. I don't think that violence was her thing. Still, there is the question of why we didn't see and why it wasn't even mentioned the other Sunset Shimmer besides the one that we know from the pony world and the human world. Even Twilight had another version, and her pony version and human version bumped into each other twice. Why the same thing didn't happen to Sunset? To try to answer my mystery, many fans started to create theories, and one of them is about Sunset Shimmer being unique in both worlds, like if she had some sort of destiny, linking both worlds, the pony and the human one. Just take a look at her cutie mark, which resembles a lot the yin-yang symbol, the balance between both worlds. And that's why she is so unique, because this was always her destiny. Is this the answer that we needed all along? Maybe, but hold on, because if you want to understand the whole story, continue in this video because things will make sense from now on, okay? In mid-2016, a fan asked is she Rudel, one of the directors of Equestria Girls, if Sunset Shimmer also was an element of harmony, like Twilight Sparkle. Then Rudel answered with one word, empathy, confirming that Sunset was indeed the seventh element of harmony. Empathy. Something that fans were theorizing for some time. Some of them had her as the element of forgiveness, and other the element of empathy. For me, forgiveness makes more sense, since she was forgiven by her friends, and also showed site-wide that she would also be forgiven. If you also rather Sunset being the element of forgiveness, leave a like in this video. But if you rather she being the element of empathy, leave it in the comments your reasons to believe that. While I researched about this topic, apparently there was supposed to be a fifth and last Equestria Girls movie, which would finally explain the link between Sunset and the seventh element of harmony, empathy, and it would be a direct sequel to the events of The Legend of Everfree. I don't know if you noticed, but the movie ended up with a big hook for the next one, something that sadly didn't happen. And why, you ask? Well, it's hard to tell an exact reason, but it's most likely that Hasbro wanted to focus more on the web series that was being released on YouTube more than official movies. This is really frustrating, because who knows what would be told in the next Equestria Girls movie, or if the directions would finally answer the questions of the fans that they had since 2014, and solve this mystery once and for all. But you guys know I'm not a quitter, don't you? And that's what I've done. I researched for some sort of synopsis that someone might have leaked to see if I could find something about the ending of Equestria Girls. And I found some interesting things, but I can't tell if they're true or made up. So keep that in mind. So some sources say that the fifth movie of the franchise would be a direct sequel to The Legend of Everfree, which makes sense. The problem is that they theorized that the movie would focus on the main seven traveling to Equestria, and that they will meet their pony versions to bring the magic from Equestria to the human world. And that doesn't make a lot of sense for me, since it was Sunset the one that awakened the magic in that universe after putting on Twilight's crown. And another thing, do you guys remember that scene that you are seeing right now? There is Equestria's magic flowing out of that portal. Why would they want even more magic? Unless the writers would find a way to give every human with the same powers as their pony version, like some people had a Pegasus pony version would have wings, and who had unicorns one would have have magic, you know? It seems like an interesting idea, but at the same time, it seems nuts. What do you guys think? In another forum, it said that the writers of the series had confirmed that there was no other human version of Sunset Shimmer because they wanted that her existence was something unique for both the human world and the pony world, like Chrysalis and Discord, which somehow seems to only exist in Equestria. And there is the text, which says once again that Sunset was the seventh element of harmony, just in the human world, given the idea that the elements could be different in each universe. Like in Equestria there are 6 elements, and the magic one is the strongest, and in Canterlot High there are 7, but we don't know if the empathy is as strong as magic, or if it is just another normal magical element at the end of the topic. And if this is true, the writers thought about meeting the 2 versions of Sunset, but this idea was written out at some point. But why? I don't know, but I think that we can theorize about it, about how would this other Sunset Shimmer be, the original one from the human world. And before I tell you guys how I think that it would be, pause this video and comment down below how do you think human Sunset Shimmer personality would be. But hey, don't take my idea, okay? Create your own one. Okay, for starters, we need to understand the human world. Unlike Equestria, that doesn't have magic, but rather science. The 2 biggest examples of that are Sightwhy and Star Swirl, which, even not being that magical at all, were always 2 bookworms. Just like the pony version of Twilight and Star Swirl. Meaning that if the pony world Sunset was driven by pride and ambition for power and magic, Sunset from the human world would also be ambitious, but not for magic, since that doesn't exist in the human world. But maybe for popularity and social influence, like a real celebrity. And as we saw in Rainbow Rocks, she is very skilled in playing the guitar, and also singing. So this other version of Sunset, the original one, quote-unquote, would also be very skilled in the guitar and music in general, having the dream of becoming a pop star, whatever it takes to. Or who knows, the human version of Sunset ended up with the same fate as her pony version, but reversed. Like, since Sunset Shimmer, the pony, went through the mirror and appeared in Canterlot High, it could happen that Sunset, the human, figured some way out to go to the pony world and choose to live in Equestria, or in some city far away and unknown. But of course, the possibilities are infinite, right? I'm crazy to read all of your ideas. Let's see if we can create our own human version of Sunset. And if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe to Toon Time so you don't miss any new content around here, okay? Thanks a lot for watching till here, and hasta la vista!